You know, it's just so crazy, man, because whenever I'm exposing racism in the sport of boxing, the racial double standards, the only people in the comment section that has a problem with me addressing this are Mexicans and other Latinos. They can't stand it. So they use code words like, oh, you're a victim. Oh, you're playing the race card. Stop race baiting. Stop crying. What they're essentially telling black people is we don't give a what you deal with. They don't disagree with anything that I say. They're just saying they don't want to hear it because they know when I bring this stuff up, I'm talking about them. So it makes them feel guilty. It makes them feel uncomfortable. A lot of them will say, hey, Dante, I really like your channel, man, but can you please stop talking about racism? And they're begging me. They won't stop watching my videos, but they want me to stop addressing race. You see, boxing is not the way it was 20 years ago, 15 years ago, when there really was no social media. When you go all the way back to the glory days of HBO, Jim Lampley, Larry Merchant, back then we had no choice but to listen to Jim Lampley and Larry Merchant. There were no other options. There were no other commentators that we can listen to. But you fast forward to present day with social media, there are thousands and thousands of boxing commentators on the internet that you can listen to. And yet the racists, they continue to watch all of my videos, but asking me, hey man, can you just please not talk about race anymore? And like I said, they never disagree with anything that I say because they know that it's the truth. They know that I'm making it rain with receipts. You see, coming to my channel is like going to the doctor's office because your doctor is not going to tell you what you want to hear. He's going to tell you the truth, regardless if it hurts your feelings or not. And that's the reason why they keep coming back. But at the same time, getting so mad because I'm telling the whole truth. They don't want to hear a black person address real issues in the sport of boxing or in any context. They don't want to be reminded that the sport of boxing is based on race, nationality, and pride in that order. Because not only do they know we're talking about them directly, but they also don't care because they feel like, hey, those are black issues. That ain't got nothing to do with me. That's your problem. So we don't want to hear about it. Oh, but when Donald Trump starts his ethnic cleansing campaign, now Mexicans are asking for black people's help. Now they're crying. Now they're playing the victim and they want the Black Justice League to help them. I mean, you can't make this shit up. This is straight out of a movie. This is literally the type of karma that you would see in a movie. You see, deep down in their hearts, they have always looked at us as superheroes. I've always told you guys, this is why the standard is set much higher in the sport of boxing and even outside of boxing when it comes to black Americans. Now, we done all seen Hollywood's Superman, but we know in real life, the only man that's faster than a speeding bullet is a black man. The only man that can leap tall buildings in a single bound is a black man. So I guess it makes sense why Latinos would be reaching out to the Black Justice League right now.
I have a lot of people in the comments talking about, why are you just talking about African Americans? Why are you just asking for our support? Why are you not asking white people? Why are you not asking Asian people? Let me tell you something. If it's not clear by now, they have never been part of the fight. And that's not to come for you guys, but the majority is not the minority, right? Black and brown are the minority in this country. We have had a lot more issues than any other race in this country. So, you know, by default, you would kind of think like we would stand together, you know, having a history of so much oppression. And, you know, I'm not trying to discredit anybody else, but we have both been through a lot. This is not even a topic of conversation. Once y'all get over the fact that it's not a race thing, because there is only one race, and that is the human race. And if you guys want to continue to put us in separate teams, then we are never going to fix the problem. Truly. If there is no unity, nothing is getting fixed. I'm going to just leave that there.
Now listen, I completely agree with her when she says by default you would think that black and brown would be like the most unified in the country, not just because of oppression, but because of what we have in common. We often live in the same communities. Mexicans and other Latinos, they dress like us, wearing Michael Jordans, rocking Kobe Bryant jerseys, LeBron James jerseys, rocking wave caps, listening to hip hop, oldies, R&B. Man, when I was growing up in Long Beach, California, that song, I'm Your Puppet, Mexicans bumped that shit so much that it felt like it was a Mexican song. That was one of their theme songs, man. I remember them rocking FUBU, G-Unit shirts. Whatever we wore, they wore. When we started the trend of lifting one pan's leg up, they all did it. We set the trend for the entire globe. Do you guys know what the #1 genre is in the world? Hip hop. Every country I go to, when I go to the gym, they're bumping hip hop. I'm here in Thailand right now. All the time, I go into barbershops, the gym, tattoo shops, of course the clubs, obviously. Hip hop. Black people start wearing skinny jeans, the whole world does it. Back when I was a little kid, they had those heavy metal bands. And I remember seeing punk rockers wearing skinny jeans. But when they did it, nobody wanted to do it. It was corny. But when black people start wearing those same skinny jeans, the whole world followed suit, including Latinos, obviously. So what that young lady said makes sense. By default, black and brown should be the biggest allies in the country. But that is the furthest thing from the truth because Mexican people in particular are the most racist people in the country. Now, of course, you got other Latinos that are racist as well, but Mexicans are pound for pound the best.
You believe it? In Southern California, Los Angeles County specifically, that Mexicans cleanse their neighborhoods of black people. These Mexican gangs intentionally target black Americans that didn't have anything to do with gang banging, but they wanted them gone, removed out of their neighborhoods. And they had a curfew, 10 p.m. If they weren't in by 10 p.m., yeah. This is not the South. This is not down in Mississippi. This is Southern California, Los Angeles County. These Mexicans, I call them the brown Yahtzees. You see this 10 p.m. in Pacoima. These areas were predominantly black neighborhoods. So the neighborhoods that you see that's with Mexicans now in Southern California, yeah, that was paid. And that price was black blood. They terrorized these black families to move out of their neighborhoods. Look, they firebombed a black family's home just because they were black, not because they were gang members, just because they're black. And you see that HG13, that 13 stands for M. That's the Mexican mafia, and they have strong ties with the Aryan Brotherhoods. And if you don't know what the Aryan Brotherhood is, that's a white supremacist gang. And their member goes on to kill a famous high school football player, Mark Hammonds. As he walked down the street in Highland Park, the Avenue gang staged a long-running campaign to rid that neighborhood of blacks. And these campaigns of cleansing black people from Mexican neighborhoods went on for decades. And mind you, these neighborhoods were once upon a time black neighborhoods.
Elected officials refused to address the problem. The black elected officials refuse to address the problem. My own congressman refuses to address the problem. And I think the problem is black folks see all minorities as allies. And this is not the case. These people are not here for our common good. They're here for their own good. Where I don't have any ill will towards anybody, I also want to look out for my race. I'm a black American. I've never used a hyphen. But I will refuse to turn my back on my race and see what's going on in South Central to my people and let these people come in here and just take over. I'm not going to sit back and watch it. And I think it's a terrible thing, a horrendous thing for anybody to see this going on and say, well, he's a minority like me, so I won't speak up. I don't care where he comes from. The key to this whole thing is stop the denial, stop the alliances of, in other words, he's a minority like me, so I can't speak up against him. If this was white folks folks committing these lynchings to us in South Central, what's going on, there would be an outrage in this country. We have had firebombs thrown through windows. We have had people's cars burned in the driveway because they happened to move into the wrong communities. We had a lady who moved to East LA, came to the state from the South, not knowing what East LA was. It was an all Hispanic community. She wasn't there one day. We had another man who was burned out of his house in Torrance last year. We had 5 murders in Hawaiian Gardens just because the people were black. This would not be tolerated if this was white on black crime. But the fact that these people come here, and it's the numbers, sir, it's the numbers. They come here in the numbers, they build up the Hispanic community, and they get this sense of power against us. And there are race riots in the schools every day in Los Angeles. It never makes the media. The black kids are being run out of the schools every day and told to go back to Africa. It never makes the media. We are having people who are being discriminated against on every avenue of society, economic, schools, even in our prisons now. They have drawn lines, and our prisoners in California are being beat and harassed and raped by Hispanic gang members who recently arrived here because of the numbers. My answer to you, sir, would be we don't need any new laws. Enforce the ones we got.
So Compton, California used to be around maybe 85-90% black. Now it is 71% Latino, which is really 71% Mexican. And they're driving around Compton looking for random black people to eliminate. Take a look for yourself. Just look at these headlines right here. And this violence from Mexicans is all across California. In any city where black and brown live together, unity is the last thing Mexicans are looking for, at least when it comes to black people. And understand this, Mexicans, they don't just go after men. They go after old men. They go after little kids. They go after women. In fact, in Long Beach, they put a green light on black girls, black women, because they said that they wanted to stop black people from having babies. This is what they said. And yet everything that black people have fought for in the country, Mexicans have benefited from. But remember, guys, the racism only comes from the men. It don't come from the women. The women, they love us. In fact, when I was in California, man, the majority of hip hop clubs that I went to, the majority of women that would be there would be Mexican women. A lot of them would be coming to the club with a black man. And if they came single, a lot of them would be leaving with a black man. It's funny, man, because some of the Mexican girls that I would talk to when I was in California, depending on the city, it seemed like they were so anxious to tell me stories of how racist the men were, the Mexican men were. You know, it's like we would just be having a normal conversation, and out of nowhere, they would start telling me how racist Mexican men are to black people. It's like they felt like, man, I've been waiting so long to just tell you guys how racist they are. This one chick, she tells me when she was in high school, the teacher was teaching them about Martin Luther King, and she ended up playing a Martin Luther King video, right? And she said, as the video was playing, all the Mexican guys in the class, you know, they start saying F that N-word and saying all this racist stuff throughout the whole video, to where the teacher, she had to try to stop them, but they just kept doing it. They didn't even have respect for Martin Luther King. Some of the rights that they benefit from today is because of Martin Luther King. There were also a number of Mexican girls that told me their father tried to disown them because they fell in love with a black guy, or their sister. This one girl that I used to work with, she told me her sister had a black boyfriend, and the father, he was trying to bribe her out of breaking up with him. He said, I'll buy you a new car, I'll do this. He was begging her to leave the black man, but the girl, she never left him. And a lot of these Mexicans were illegal aliens. Growing up in Long Beach, California, the majority of these Mexicans, their parents didn't speak English at all, but they were more racist than the Mexicans that spoke English. So when you hear that girl say there's only one race and by default, black and brown should be sticking together, she was supposed to say that to all of these Mexicans I'm talking about. She and a whole lot of other Mexicans should have been saying this to their Mexican community years ago. But you only hear those type of speeches when they need help. Now you asking for the help of Black Superman. And you know, speaking of Black Superman, my friend, he was going to a high school that was predominantly Mexican. It was close to Harbor City. He would tell me how racist they were in school to black people and how they would always try to start riots. But after school, some of them would be in the car bumping Black Superman from Above the Law. And it was always this way. Just like other racist people, they loved the black culture, just not the people. Man, I remember going to the Jay-Z DMX Hard Knock Life concert. It was in Anaheim, California. Best concert I've ever been to. I think the crowd was probably 90% Mexican and Latino. I mean, the love that those fans showed the artist was just amazing. But the reality is that love was for the culture. It was not for the people in general. So while white people are driving 400 miles to El Paso, Texas, looking for Mexicans to eliminate, the Mexicans never retaliate driving around white neighborhoods taking out white people, but they do it to innocent black people all the time. They don't do it to white people because they aspire to be white. And I completely broke this down in my last video about Ryan Garcia. So if you missed it, go check it out. It's a great video. Mexicans, they aspire to be white. This is the reason why they align with Nazis when they go to prison. And then they go to war with the black prisoners. Now, once again, this is why that Mexican lady who was talking in that clip I played for you guys and everybody else saying that we should be united, these are the people that you guys are supposed to be talking to. These Mexicans. Now, in defense of Mexicans, I will say there are some Mexicans out there that are anti-racist. There are some Mexicans that truly do want to align with black people. But like Kendrick Lamar said, there's a few solid ones, but it's not enough. As many Mexicans live in the country, it should be the majority of them, not the minority. It shouldn't be this small percentage.
If you're Latino, Kendrick told me to tell you something.
I made that video a couple weeks ago after attending the Kendrick Lamar and SZA concert in Los Angeles, and it quickly gained millions.
If you're Latino, Kendrick told me to tell you something.
I made that video a couple weeks ago after attending the Kendrick Lamar and SZA concert in Los Angeles, and it quickly gained millions of views. If you go back into that comment section, you will see a lot of Latinos and Hispanics defending their use of the N-word or even just being straight up racist towards black people. Fast forward less than a month later and Trump and ICE are targeting Latinos and Hispanics in their unlawful ICE raids. This has led to a lot of protests around the country, and a lot of black people are deciding to sit this one out. And I cannot be upset with them, because if you go back to the comments in that video, you will see a lot of Latinos and Hispanics defending their use of the N-word and just straight up being racist towards black people. The main reason that I made that video in the first place is that there's a lot of racism within the Latino and Hispanic community against black people. And if you don't believe me, just go watch the video, scroll through a couple of comments, and you will see very quickly what I'm talking about. So now a lot of Latinos and Hispanics are getting upset at black people for not wanting to protest. And I say this to my community because maybe you'll hear it better from me, from somebody who looks like you when I say it. If you want black people to join the fight against our oppression, for our struggle, then you need to be there to call out your own community when they're being racist towards black people. You can't have your cake and eat it too. If you want black people to support you, you need to support black people, even if that means calling out your own community and having some uncomfortable conversations with people you're close to. We are so much stronger united. Black people and Hispanics are so much stronger when we come together. But if we want black people to join our fight, then we need to recognize the racism, the colorism, and all other prejudice against black people within our own community. It's not fair to ask them to fight for us when you're not fighting for them. And I don't mean just standing up for them during the Black Lives Matter movement. I mean standing up for them in everyday conversations with your relatives, with your friends, with the people around you in your community.
Mexicans are supposed to be aligning with black people the same way they align with white Nazis, which makes no sense at all because white Nazis see Mexicans as inferior. Just in case you guys didn't know, there were a couple of Mexican Americans that joined the military, the U.S. military. Do you guys know what the Nazis did when they caught the Mexicans? They put them in concentration camps with the Jews. Mexicans aligning with white Nazis in prison, it doesn't change what your race is. I mean, believe it or not, but you have black people that have also joined Nazi organizations. But that doesn't change their race, right? I've already told you guys about this. There's a movie. It's a true story. The movie is named or called Farmers. It's about an African kid who migrated to the UK. He was getting bullied by the Nazis. He ended up fighting back so much, they ended up accepting him into their Nazi gang. And he became an official black Nazi. Hell, Kanye West is a black Nazi that hangs out with white Nazis. He has really good close friends that are white Nazis. So my point is, it doesn't matter if Mexicans align with white Nazis. You're still Mexican. You're still Hispanic. You will never be considered white, and Donald Trump is making that very clear. Because if you were considered white, he would be excluding you from his ethnic cleansing campaign, like he's excluding all the white illegals in America right now. Do you guys know that there are thousands of illegal immigrants in America right now that are white? From the UK, from Australia, from other parts of Europe. A lot of them just came to America on a tourist visa and never went back home. And they have overstayed for years and decades. So before you even ask for black people's help, maybe you should work on getting your own people on the same page if you're going to get on the internet and talk about unity. And not only that, but when you ask for help, what are you asking help for? What you want us to do? Pull up with foreign flags and start spitting on the American flag like Mexicans are doing right now? I'm sorry, but we don't provide those services. You done called the wrong company. You better call MS-13 for that. This is not a George Floyd situation. You guys are not protesting for justice. You guys are protesting for illegal criminals in the country. And yes, they are criminals because they are here illegally. Not only are they here illegally, but they are working illegally. So when you guys say, oh, but they're not gangbangers, they work hard, they've been working for years. That's not a good thing. That's even worse. That is a criminal offense in every country. No country wants you to come to their country and end up working without any kind of visa as an immigrant. This is the reason why a lot of countries are actually starting to tighten up when it comes to visa requirements. Even here in Thailand, it's harder to get a visa now because so many foreigners, they come over here, start up illegal businesses, or just work when they don't have a work visa. They look at it as you taking money from the country and from the nationals in that country. So only advice I could give to the illegal Mexicans right now is to self-deport. That's right. Go ahead and self-deport. Right now, Donald Trump, he's giving everybody $1,000 on a debit card and a one-way ticket back home. And that's the best help you're going to get right there. With that being said, I'm going to wrap this video up. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one. All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, the fever blisters, diabetic ulcers, this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called Elo Diki Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to elodiki.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram. Let me tell you guys about Issa Israel Law Firm. It is a full-service legal practice based in Denver, Colorado, an emerging hub for combat sports and high-altitude training. If you're a fighter inside or outside of the ring and you need a law firm you can trust to fight for you, visit thefighterfirm.com or email help@iilawfirm.com. Legal representation is usually limited to plaintiffs or defendants in Colorado, but iFirm can help anyone in the world with trademarking their business name, logos, and U.S. immigration issues. This brother has been my attorney for a while and helped guide me through all kinds of business and civil issues, so make sure you guys go to thefighterfirm.com.